working on these kind of bigger movies. And then 13 was a relatively small production, right? It was an
Yeah,
indie film.
1.5
Yeah.
million.
Yeah.
Well, I didn't have too good of a path. I didn't know too much about the film business. I came here from a little town in South Texas, and I was trained as an architect before. I went to UT. Any Texans out here?
Yeah.
Okay. And then when I went to UCLA Film School, grad school, they just, everybody was just a director, and you wrote your own stuff, and you made the sandwiches for your movie, and you paid for it, and I didn't even know the categories, and somebody said, oh, production design, well, you're an architect, so why don't you be a production designer? And so I just kind of accidentally fell into that, and I loved it, and I got to work with great directors. But I started thinking, I really do want to do my own movie. So in between every job that was paying the rent, I would write a screenplay, go take a directing workshop, go to one of these things and take copious notes and try to learn everything I could and make little short films. And then finally, I wrote one screenplay and another one, and I budget that one. It was going to be $9 million, a Civil War movie, and I built a Civil War tent in my living room, and shot like a trailer, and people were like, no, we're not making that. They said, your first movie, you're not going to get $9 million. And so I wrote a movie that would be $5 million, and the people would say, oh, your first movie, you're never going to get $5 million to direct. So then I thought, well, okay, I've got to write something that is just zero budget, that nobody could stop me, that I could literally make in my own house. People are nodding, yes, right? And I looked at my mentors. I didn't have Lucas and Spielberg, but I had Richard Linklater. I loved his work. I loved David O. Russell. I'd done Three Kings with him. So I was trying to get them to do what they, what your guys did. They were like, no. I guess like 1 million people came to them and said, I want to direct. And so their advice to me was, you want to direct, then go direct. Like, we're not going to help you. You have to do it on your own. And in a way, that was good advice, because I really did have to just struggle and deserve it by the time I got it made, so that finally, my clothes, every single actor, including the guys, Jeremy Sisto wore some of my clothes and their t-shirts. My car is the car in the movie. All my furniture's in the movie. And in a way, you feel like you kind of earned it. So, like, whatever it takes. I mean, of course, I had gone every weekend, night, working, writing, teaching myself Final Cut Pro, and shooting little things in my house, and trying to really understand how to do it. I took acting classes for 5 years before, in between things, trying to learn how to act. Not to be an actor, but to understand what it takes, and that really helped me with writing, too. I don't know, how many of you guys want to be directors out here? Yes. And are you guys taking some acting classes?
Yep.
It's a good thing, because suddenly you have to say those words that you wrote, right? Kind of scary. And if you can't find meaning behind the words, and or some depth or reason, it's just like, let's go. You realize it's pretty hard to act that stuff. Anyway, so that's kind of how I got there, scrapping my way up. Yeah.
Where did